Hey YouTube, welcome back to another video. In this video, it's gonna be probably one of the last that I post being in Bali for this year. We leave, it's Monday now, so we leave this coming Sunday. So we have about 6 days left here. I thought I would do a pros and cons of my time in Bali and what I absolutely loved and what I could have done without. Yeah, so let's get into it. I'm gonna start with the pros because why not? Start on a good note. One of the pros that I found was obviously the cost of living. Canadian dollar can get you pretty far here. If you have USD, even farther. So for us, for under the category of like cost of living is basically like what you need to buy to live, which would be rental of like a room, a guest house, a villa, whatever. Insanely cheap compared to Canadian pricing. Rent in Canada for like, let's say a 1 to 2 bedroom apartment, tiny apartment, is probably gonna cost you $2,000 to like almost 3, probably somewhere in the middle there. On average, I think the cheapest guest house we got was 2.7 for 1 month, and that was a room. Obviously there's like shared kitchen, there's fridge, like you can still like make food and store your food and whatever if you don't want to eat out every meal. And then our villa, we only paid 500 Canadian, and that was literally like a 4-bedroom villa, but we only obviously rented the room and then used the kitchen and the living room and the pool and stuff. So average for a guest house would probably be around 3, anywhere to like 7 mil, which would be $250 to like, I don't know, $800. But if you want to stay in a villa, it's a little bit more expensive. I think like 11 mil, which is still only like $1,000 if you get your own villa. And rooms are even cheaper. You can find all this kind of stuff online as well. If you want to just like rent, there's Facebook groups, and then if you want to just rent like for a week or a month or whatever, you can obviously do that on like booking.com and just literally Google Bali stays and you'll see the prices. Like you can get something for like $10 a day. Next would be scooter rental, which is also super cheap. Pretty much everyone drives a scooter here. No one really rents a car. If you don't want to rent a scooter because you don't know how to drive one, me, have a boyfriend and then get him to drive. No, just kidding. You can use Gojek, Grab, taxi service. Gojek, literally we pay $1 pretty much to go anywhere, which is super cheap. Grab's a little bit more expensive than Gojek, but I find you can get a Grab in more places. So I would just download both apps. Gas, super cheap. Probably around like $4 to $8 a week in gas. And then food. So groceries, I would say, are pretty expensive if you're buying like Americanized groceries. I would just, like what we've done is basically just eat out almost every meal. The only meal I have here in the room or the villa is breakfast, but I have like rice cakes and peanut butter, so I wouldn't really call that breakfast. But meals, like you can pay as little as like $2 to, I don't know, like $20 for a meal, which is like nothing compared to Canada. So that's the first pro, and all that being in the category of how much it costs to live in Bali. So the next pro, I would say, is that Bali really accommodates a lot of different lifestyles. So if you're super into fitness and health, you eat really healthy. If you don't eat healthy and you just eat whatever the hell you want, if you're vegetarian, if you're vegan, pescatarian, there's different restaurants and like multiple different restaurants for like every single type of person's dietary needs, which is something that Canada really struggles with. There's like, I could go down the street and get a protein shake at a random place and they'll have it. A vegan or a vegetarian will have many different options on restaurants to eat at, and they're actually really good food. And you can like go and order in a restaurant and they'll always have salads and everything. Like you don't, in Canada, fast food is like the biggest thing. And they like, people barely have salads at restaurants, especially fast food restaurants. Here, it's like everything's fresh, everything's just made right there. Like it's just, you can be whatever you want here and they will have options for you. So the third pro is that there's super easy access to a lot of different environments. So if you don't like the city, like very busy, traffic, kind of more party, lots of people, lots of tourists, which would be Canggu, you can literally just drive 45 minutes and you're in a jungle. And it's very calm and peaceful and there's not a bunch of people. Or you can drive 45 minutes another way and you're at the most like beautiful beaches you've ever seen. And there's surfers all around and everything's also very chill and relaxed. And yeah, so there's anything that you can think of that you really want and what environment that you want to surround yourself with, you can find it all over Bali. It's like every single place that you go to will have a kind of a different vibe, so you can literally just pick the vibe that you want. Okay, last pro that I'm going to talk about is the people, which is probably the biggest reason me and Eddie have really fallen in love with Bali, is the people. They're just unmatched. Especially coming from, like, we did our Greece trip and just seeing how certain people act and interact and care for you. Balinese people are just like insanely helpful and just grateful and kind and nice, and they don't even need to know you. They're just instantly like greeting you with a smile and caring for you, and they could know absolutely nothing about you, which is something that makes me feel really secure and safe in Bali, especially being a woman. I feel like any solo travelers or women who travel alone, whatever, could come here and feel completely safe. So cons, which there are some cons, definitely not enough for us to not want to come back and stay here. But one of the biggest cons that we have, and I see a lot of people have, is building friendships and relationships while being in Bali, and probably really anywhere. If you're like a digital nomad or someone who travels a lot and stays for a long period of time in a place, you'll find that, especially somewhere that is more touristy, it's kind of hard to make friends, because some people are here for like a week or a month and you're here for like ever, and they just come and they go, and it's really hard to actually build like long-lasting friendships and relationships when there's people that come and go all the time and you may never get to see that person literally ever again. So that's probably the biggest con. Yeah, but we've made some friendships that we'll have forever. So that being said, you do get to meet a lot of different kinds of people from all over the world, and I think it's really cool to have friends who also live in different parts of the world, and you can eventually maybe go visit them where they're from and make a make a trip out of it if you like to travel. So it's a con, but it's still like, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, second con, something that does happen, but not often, especially to us, would be you could get scammed. Like some people, let's say like a Gojek driver, it's about, these numbers probably won't make any sense, but let's say it's 12K for a ride, you give them 20 and they say they don't have change. They probably have change. They're just trying to keep it for themselves. So there are little things where people will try to like just get money out of you, which happens. Like you're in a, okay, I'll just talk over it since this one isn't as important. But yeah, so you're in a third world country, like you're paying $1 for a scooter ride, getting scammed like 5 cents or 50 cents really isn't that big of a deal, but it will happen, and it could happen in a different scenario that's a little bit more aggressive or whatever. And if you don't really come here with an open mind about it, you probably will get caught off guard. So just know that like I think the minimum wage in Bali is like less than $300 Canadian a month. So that extra 50 cents here and there really isn't that big of a deal to me, but just be aware it could happen. Okay, third con would be laundry. So most of my clothes have shrunk from being here. Electricity is a little crazy here. Like the voltage is insane. I get a shock every time I touch my charger or my computer. But they wash their laundry on very, very high heat, and they dry it on very, very high heat. So yeah, you're gonna get pants that literally look like this. And it is what it is. If you don't want that, do your own laundry or hang your laundry to dry outside. I'm lazy. So yeah, one thing I'm looking forward to going back to Canada is just doing all my laundry by myself. Okay. Fourth would be the time difference. So it's about, no, it's literally 12 hours from Canada. So right now it's 4:48 p.m. in Bali. It would be 4:48 a.m. in Canada, which, like, if you're trying to talk to family, it's a little bit hard. The only time I talk to my mom would be either really early in the morning or really late at night. If you have to work at Eastern Standard Time, probably not going to work for you to be here. Yeah, it just is what it is. But we adjusted pretty well. We don't work on any kind of time zone, so it's not that big of a deal for us, but it could be for you. So just keep that in mind. Whenever I talk to clients, it has to be either really early in the morning or really late, but it's also nice because we're a day ahead, so, or we're 12 hours ahead. So when my mom is sleeping, for example, I'll be awake and I'll have that extra day when she's sleeping. So it is kind of nice. Like, I think 12 hours is like perfect because then I know exactly what time it is over there. But again, if you work or you have to talk to people in a different time zone, just be aware of that. Okay, so a short one is if you girls or guys or whatever are looking to shop here, I wouldn't say it's the best shopping. I would just bring your own clothes from wherever you're coming from, unless you want to pay like tourist prices. Like this shirt is from Shein. I probably paid like $5 for it. They'd probably resell it here for like, I don't know, 20. Just keep that in mind. And then last thing kind of goes hand in hand, but You're probably not gonna cook much here. A lot of the kitchens are outside kitchens, so that comes with bugs, that comes with like it being insanely hot and you not wanting to be over a stove and an open flame. I think the only thing I ever cooked here was eggs, and that was one time. Since then, I have not cooked. But I don't really want to anyway because groceries are pretty expensive. So I can literally buy like $40 worth of groceries and I'll get like 5 things, or I can just spend $40 in the week and eat out all week. And like going out to eat is honestly, it's so nice. Like every restaurant here is beautiful. The decor is always like gorgeous. The plating, the service, like literally everything is just like 10 out of 10. Like sometimes in Canada, we hated going out to eat. It was pretty much just like our date nights were like ordering in food or things like that because we just weren't about it. But here it's like, it's just so nice. So you won't want to cook anyway, but if you do cook a lot and you're picky about your food, you're probably not going to want to cook here. Okay, so that wraps up pretty much all the pros and cons of living in Bali. Yeah, we've absolutely loved being here. We will definitely come back here. If you're looking to vacation, if you're looking to come here and work, if you're just looking to come here to live here, I would say 100% do it. It's just perfect. Like if you're a foreigner and you're coming here, you're gonna have the best time ever, especially if you're coming from Canada, somewhere super cold, like somewhere in the States, whatever, like you're gonna absolutely love it here. So we are leaving in 6 days now, which I'm sad and I'm happy about. I do miss my house and my mom and my family and Starbucks and Domino's Pizza. No, we miss a lot about home, but we also absolutely love it here. So we will enjoy the rest of our time that we have here. Eddie is fighting in a fight literally the day before we leave, so wish him luck on that. Well, you'll probably already see that. Anyway, yes, thank you for watching this video. If you got this far and you're not subscribed yet, subscribe. The Bali content will probably be stopping soon, but I will still be posting a lot, and we have a lot of exciting stuff coming up for when we go back to Canada, so that will be fun. I'm sure you guys will like to see that. And if you're here for the Bali content, we will be back in Bali eventually, so yeah, don't leave. And give this video a like if you liked it, and if you have any pros or cons from you being here or you want to share, do that in the comments. Yeah, thanks for watching.